8 years into our relationship, I took a knife for my doctor boyfriend, Ethan. He promised I could ask for anything in return. Everyone expected me to demand a proposal. Instead, I calmly said, let's break up. Then I turned and walked away. Ethan smirked and bet everyone, she's just a lovesick puppy fishing for attention. I bet she'll be back begging me to take her back in 3 days. He was wrong. I had a secret. I'd been given a second chance. In my past life, I'd gotten engaged, but Ethan's dream girl, Olivia, jumped off a building and killed herself. He took all his anger out on me. On our wedding night, he slashed my face and locked me in a dark, cramped basement. After I got pregnant, he forced me to eat massive amounts of supplements. By the time I went into labor, the baby was too big, and I couldn't deliver. I bled out, my body torn apart in a horrific stillbirth. This time, back to the day I took that knife for Ethan, I did as he wished. The surgeon's office. A sharp pain in my arm brought me back to reality. The nurse finished wrapping the bandage, gently warning me to keep it dry. Ethan, sitting in the chair beside her, sneered, just a scratch. Why are you acting so precious? I remained silent. Other doctors in the office exchanged uneasy glances. They were all there during the attack. The attacker was a hulking ex-con, released 2 years ago. The fruit knife, a foot long, had sliced through my arm. I needed 20 stitches. The attacker's original target was Ethan's heart. My silence angered him. His handsome face turned icy. Claire, don't play games. I said you saved me. You can ask for anything. Still not satisfied? What's with the attitude? Somewhere along the line, Ethan's tone toward me had become superior and condescending. All his tenderness was reserved for Olivia, his dream girl, an orphan girl he'd sponsored after a flood relief effort. My gaze landed on the pink bunny hair tie on his wrist. Ignoring the bitterness swelling in my chest, I looked up and smiled. Anything at all? Ethan hesitated, a flicker of something crossing his eyes. He glanced at the hair tie, his expression momentarily troubled before regaining his composure. He ground his teeth, then nodded, a resigned sigh escaping him. Yes. One of Ethan's medical school buddies chimed in, then, Dr. Hayes, you better make an honest woman of her. Others joined in the laughter. Yeah, Dr. Hayes, it's about time you two tied the knot. I've already got my wedding gift ready. When's the big day? As the teasing continued, I was about to break up with Ethan when a young nurse rushed in. Dr. Hayes, Olivia is trying to kill herself. Again. If my count was correct, this was Olivia's 108th suicide attempt. Just like last time. As soon as the nurse finished speaking, Ethan ran out, heading towards the hospital rooftop. There, Olivia stood, eyes red and swollen, her small face pale. She wore Ethan's white shirt, her slender legs visible beneath it. I remembered seeing her there during the attack. While I'd been shielding Ethan, he'd held her close. She'd come from his office, wearing that white shirt, the one I had given him. Claire saved you. You promised her anything. She loves you so much. She'll propose, and you'll say yes, right? I'm sorry, Ethan. The thought of losing you for the rest of my life, I'd rather die. Tears streamed down Olivia's face. Ethan's heart ached. Just come down, let me explain. Ethan was frantic, his voice laced with concern. Ethan was attentive to Olivia's every whim. She liked pink, so a Dior bag I was supposed to get for my birthday became her reward for good grades. She was afraid of thunder, so he rushed to her side whenever she called. He even yelled at me once when he missed my grandfather's funeral because he was with her. Couldn't she pick a better day to try and die? I recalled Ethan's confession, his promise to always unconditionally love only me. But when he met 18-year-old Olivia, his affections shifted completely. Last time, jealousy had consumed me, leading to my tragic end. This time, I didn't want him. Olivia's sobs pulled me back to reality. Ethan had rescued her, their bodies pressed tightly together. I felt a wave of nausea. Ethan was shaken, trembling as he kissed Olivia's hair. Thank God you're okay. Olivia's body trembled. Will you marry Claire? If you will, then you should have let me die. Ethan gently wiped her tears, his gaze turning cold and calculating when he looked at me. It's just marriage. In my heart, you'll always be first. Then, as if forced, he sighed. Claire's been with me for 8 years. I don't love her anymore, but she saved me from drowning years ago, and she's always been so dedicated. I owe her that much. Everyone around us was stunned. Yes, I'd saved Ethan from drowning, and we'd naturally gotten together, but that was long ago. He always felt I was using that favor to manipulate him. Knowing how things would turn out, I wouldn't have saved him then, or now. The pitying stares became irritating. I scoffed. Ethan, I'm busy. When are you going to fulfill your promise? Ethan sneered, a knowing glint in his eyes. So eager to marry me? He stroked Olivia's ear, then spoke to me dismissively. Fine. When do you want to get married? Since you're desperate to marry me, I cut him off. We're breaking up. Ethan stared, his face a mask of disbelief and anger. You want to break up? Ignoring Olivia's surprise, I looked at Ethan's furrowed brow. Yes. What kind of stunt is this? Ethan refused to believe me. Everyone knows you've been chasing me since high school. Now that you finally have a chance to marry me, you want to break up? Claire, stop kidding yourself. You're still wearing the ring I gave you. He seemed to have found a flaw in my plan, a smug look on his face, certain I'd never leave him. I calmly removed the ring and tossed it over the edge. Oh, right. Thanks for reminding me. Ethan had bought it for my birthday in college, using his first scholarship check. It had our initials engraved inside. Once, after a car accident, I was unconscious, but I was clutching it. Ethan knew how much it meant to me. Now, it was gone. Ethan's brow furrowed, but he still couldn't believe I was serious. He sneered. Claire, I don't care what games you're playing, but if you apologize, I'll pretend nothing happened. You still want to be Mrs. Hayes, and you will be. I smiled faintly. Ethan, I wish you and I both get what we want. And with that, I left. I heard Olivia ask, not chasing after her. Ethan sneered. No, she'll come crawling back. A woman who'll do anything to get pregnant by me won't just walk away. Yes, I was pregnant. Ethan had gotten drunk after an argument with Olivia and had slept with me, mistaking me for her. I got pregnant shortly after. Ethan knew. Last time, I'd used that favor to force him into marriage, resulting in Olivia's suicide. He constantly force-fed me, until my belly grew huge. He didn't take me to the hospital when I went into labor. My baby got stuck, I bled out, the child suffocating to death in my womb. I still remembered the pain, the tremors, the blood-red eyes, the agonizing effort that resulted in nothing. Back home, I touched my still-growing belly. It was time to end this. I slept. 4 hours. 4 hours later, I received a message. My mom's sick. Come over. Ethan was a monster. monster, but his mother had always been kind to me. My parents and his had been close friends. His mom treated me like her own daughter, but the message didn't sound like Ethan's writing style. He never used punctuation. This was Olivia. Only she would dare touch his phone. Knowing it was a trap, I went anyway. As soon as I opened the door, a bucket of ice water was thrown over me. The icy chill engulfed me, my abdomen seized in pain. A cacophony of laughter filled the silent house. Opening my eyes, I saw a group of young people, their eyes full of amusement. Olivia stood among them. Make her kneel. Someone kicked me down. Olivia smirked. Do you know how much Ethan hates you? You slut. You got pregnant by him behind my back. She picked up a bottle of liquor. You only use cheap tricks to trap him. Today, you'll regret carrying his child. She raised the bottle. She thought I would be scared. I wasn't. I drank it all. Every drop. I didn't want Ethan. I didn't want this baby. More? I asked Olivia. She called me crazy. She grabbed a hot curling iron, then pressed it towards my eyes. Suddenly, someone screamed. Blood. She's bleeding. A sharp pain ripped through my abdomen. My face turned white. Olivia paused, but quickly recovered. She dropped the curling iron and, before anyone could react, she kicked my stomach. Blood spurted out. Before I could scream, I blacked out. The hospital office. Ethan was reviewing patient files. A nurse rushed in with a consent form. Dr. Hayes, Miss Claire. Ethan cut her off. We've broken up. Don't mention her to me. The nurse was frantic, but she was just brought in by ambulance. It's a serious internal bleed from a pregnancy. We need blood from another hospital. Please sign this. Ethan glanced at her, tore up the form. You think I'd believe such a pathetic lie? He sneered. Claire even bought off my staff? She loves me so much. She would never abort my child. Even if she's dying, I won't sign this. He brushed past the nurse and walked away, putting his phone on Do Not Disturb to avoid further interruptions. He played games until 10. Turning off Do Not Disturb, over 100 missed calls flooded his phone, even the hospital director. He frowned. Claire was actually bothering the director? Her nerve. He called the director to apologize, but the director coldly said, "Get back to the hospital," and hung up. Confused, Ethan drove to the hospital, unaware of the anxious look on Olivia's face. He was usually well liked, but the director's anger was unusual. As he stepped out of the elevator, he was slapped. He raised his hand, then froze, seeing his mother. "Mom, what are you doing here?" His mother's eyes were swollen, almost screaming, "You monster. Why didn't you sign the consent form? Do you know she had a miscarriage? A massive hemorrhage? She lost her uterus because of you." A police officer stepped forward, holding up his phone. The video showed me, my white dress soaked in blood, lying unconscious on a stretcher, the blood staining the stretcher crimson.